How do you make a bad racing game? Well, for one, you can make a Mario Kart clone with South Park in 3D for the PlayStation 1, but another way is by having nothing to it, awful controls, and puke-inducing graphics that make you wonder, this come out on the Sega Genesis? Today we're looking at yet another simple series game, developed by Tamsoft and published by, you guessed it, D3 Publisher. I'm starting to think these guys are my LJN for this channel. I mean, they've put out more bad games than EA so far on here. Let that sink in. D3 Publisher is worse than EA. For now, till I review more PC games in the future. Got to cover Medal of Honor and Need for Speed at some point. So the game is about racing. What kind of racing? Some kind of basic Japanese tiny car racing where it's just 4 cars racing. For some reason it's entirely single player, which is baffling. Why would you make a racing game single player only? Especially on console. Like, holy cow, talk about lacking. Speaking of lacking, there's only one car, a red one. You then get to select manual or automatic transmission, drift or grip setting. Then you select one of 2 courses, short or long. That's it. That's all the game has to offer. $20 please. Hell, it's not even worth a $5 rental back in the day. The game has nothing else to it. You just race the red car in one of 2 tracks. There's no unlockables or anything. Simple series continues to show its ugly side. Like that. Every time I think I've found something good, maybe I should go back in with a closed mind from now on to be disappointed right away, instead of after playing for about 5 minutes, realizing there's a reason the simple series doesn't exist anymore. Nonetheless, I tried both tracks, and the short one is the better one, simply because the controls. X to accelerate, D-pad to steer, circle for view change, and square for brakes. That's it. The game is so stiff in the driving, I just couldn't put up with it. After 8 minutes of playing the game, and trying both courses, I gave up and went online to find more information about the game. Sadly, there's not much out there, which makes sense. The simple series isn't well known, especially for quality. The long track was the worst due to the sharper turns and huge hitboxes on the cars and geometry that caused me to bounce off of everything like it's a game of bumper cars. Kind of wish they just made that instead. At least that's more of a fun concept for a budget game than racing a single car on 2 tracks like it's the Atari 2600 still. At the end of the day, I do not recommend this borderline mediocre game. Please avoid it at all costs and thank me later. I haven't played a worse racing game than this. I've played Need for Speed, Mario Kart and its many clones, and even some NASCAR games back in the day. Yet, this one is the king of fecal matter in the racing genre right now. This is single-handedly the worst racing game I have ever played and crown it the worst of its genre. If you can think of something worse, please don't. The world is already closing in on a third world war. Let's have some moment of peace while we still can.